Okay, so this week and a little bit of last week, we've been working on multiplication. What form of multiplication? Remember distributive property. And what did we work on Monday when we used the base 10 blocks? Remember what it's called? It starts with an S. It's called standard form. Right. So does this look familiar to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah? So when you're looking at this problem, what do you think the first step is?
Multiply 4 times 7.
4 times 7. And what is 4 times 7?
28.
Okay. And then what do we do?
Multiply 4 times 4.
8 times 4, right?
Yes.
And what's 8 times 4?
32.
So do I write down 32?
No, you add 2. Plus 2 is 34.
So then what would it be?
34.
So we got 348, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wrong way. It went backwards. Yeah, I think it does too. Okay. Yeah, it's another 2 digit by 1 digit. So it's a little easy, right? So what's our first step?
6
times 2. Okay. And what do we get?
12.
12. And then what do we do next?
6 times 1.
6 times 1. But what are we supposed to remember about this one?
Add 1.
This one right here. What is that? Oh, well. What is that actually?
10.
A 10, right? And what is this?
A 1.
Is it a 1?
Yes.
It's another 10, right?
Oh,
It's our 10 from the 12. We put our 2 here, and then we move our 10 up here with the other 10 to remind ourselves that we still have that extra 10 to add on later. Okay, so what is 6 times 1?
6.
And then what do we do?
Add 1.
Add the 1, so we get 72. Okay? What's our first step here?
Multiply 5 times 5.
5 times 5, and we get 25. And then what do we do? 5 times 2, and we add the 2, so we get 12. And then what's our next step?
5 times 1. You put a 0.
A 0. Can anyone tell me why you put a 0, Bella?
Because now we're multiplying by the tens place.
Now we're multiplying by the tens place, so we're moving over to the tens place, so we need to add a 0. Okay? So what's our next step?
5 times 1.
5 times 1. Which 5?
10 times
This 5 or this 5, right? Okay, so 1 times 5 is 5. And we're going to mark this out because we already used that 2 and we don't need it anymore. Okay? So then what do we do after we mark the 2 out?
5 times 1. 2 times 1.
We do the 1 times the 2, right?
Yes.
Because we already used this 5 both times. So now we used our 1 once and we're going to use it again. So 1 times 2 is 2. And then we add, right? So we got 375. Okay? It's okay. Okay? Another problem, it looks very similar, right?
Yes.
So what's our first step?
9 times 5.
9 times 5. And what's 9 times 5?
45.
Right? And then what's our next step?
5 times 4.
5 times 4. And where's that for? Where did it come from?
The 45.
The 45, right? So we carried it up so we wouldn't forget it. So we have 5 times 4, which is 20, plus the 4.
24.
So we get 24. And then we add our 0.
Because now we're going to the 10.
Because now we're going to the tens. So what's our next step?
9 times 3.
9 times 3. And what's 9 times 3?
27.
And we're going to mark out that 4 because we already used it and put a 2. So then what do we do?
4 times 3.
3 times 4. Or 4 times 3, which is
12.
plus the
14.
2. So we get 14.
Then you would add.
And then we're going to add. So we're going to get 5, 11, and 1. So we got 1,715. Okay, I think this is our last one. Okay, so this one looks a little different, right?
Yes.
We have a hundreds place number now. Okay, do you think it's going to go any differently? No, I don't think so either. Let's find out. What's our first step?
8 times 6.
Which is what?
48.
Okay, now what? 8 times 2, right? Plus the 4, which is
20.
20. And then we carry our 2. And then what do we do?
8 times 4.
Which is
32.
32 plus the 2, right? We get 34. 108. I think that's an 8. All right. So I think you guys have a pretty good grasp of what we're doing. Do you feel? Does anyone have any questions?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. You have a question? Okay, what's your question?
I don't get why you have to do like down there when it says 52 times 7. Why do you have to go like 7 times 5, 2 times 9?
So 52, and what was it? 97? And what was your question? Why do we have to?
After you do the 2 times 7, you do 2 times 5, 7 times 5.
So do you remember in the distributive property, whenever we do this, like let's just pretend that the 9's not there right now. So we do 7, and then we would break this up, right? Into 50 plus 2. Right? We would do the same thing for the 90. So if we broke this up into 7, we still have 90 left that we need to multiply. So we would break it up into 90 times 50 plus 2. Right? Does that make sense? And then once you find both of these, you add them together. And that's the same as finding both of these and adding them together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's very similar. We're just writing it and thinking about it in a different way.
How would you do this in an area model?
In an area model,
It's the same thing.
it's similar. There's just more boxes. So I'm pretty sure it would look like this, and then you would do the 97. Is that right? Yeah.
As the bucket.
The box method and an area model, didn't we decide that was the same thing? Right? So it's very similar. So we would do 7 times 2, which is 13. And then we would do 7 times 5. It's actually a 50, right? So 7 times 50 is what? 50. And then we would do the 90 times 2, which is 180. And then we would do the 90 times the 50, 450, and then we would add them all up.
I think
Yeah.
that way.
I think this way is simpler, but I think you guys understand it and you're ready to do the standard form.
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So, I have, it'll go, a game that we're going to play. Do you have a question?
Yeah, since it was 90 times 60, wouldn't it be like 45?
There would be another 0, wouldn't there?
Yep.
Is that what you're asking? Yes, there would. We missed out on the 0. You're right. So we're going to play a game. It is called Greatest Product, and we're going to be solving problems with 2-digit numbers each. So what you're going to do is you're going to get with a partner, and I'm going to give you a little bag, and it looks like this. Okay? And inside the bag, there are 2 sets of tins. So there's a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and then there's another 1, 2, 3, and 4. Does that make sense? So what you're going to do is you're going to put these on the table, and you're going to mix them up, and you're going to take turns being the dealer. So if me and Emma are playing, then I'm going to sit with Emma, and I'm going to give her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys paying attention? How many am I going to give Emma when I deal it out, Logan?
5. Oh, sorry.
When I deal it out, how many am I going to give Emma? 5, right? And then I'm going to give myself 5. Okay? After you deal it out, you're going to pick 4 out of your 5 numbers, and you're going to make a standard form problem. And your goal is to make a larger number than your partner. So in this example at the bottom, the winner is this person because they got 8,000 and their partner only got 5,000. Right.
They did 50.
Does that make sense?
That's so funny.
Solving that 97. Do you have to put like your numbers that you have under there for your? Just write it down.
It would be best to set up your numbers and then write them down so you know what you're doing for sure. Yeah.
So basically, it's just you take the highest numbers in your from your 5 things, and then you have to make it a multiplication problem.
Maybe if it takes the highest numbers, you'll figure it out once you start doing it. It's supposed to be the person to the highest to 10, but we're going to do it for 10 minutes. So it's the person with the most points when you're done. And to check your partner's work, you're going to do, what's it called? No, it's not division. It's estimation. There you go. So you're going to estimate and see if it's close to your partner's answer, and if it is, then they got it right. Right? Yes, Brianna?
James said if you split the 7 and the 5 in the first one, it
Mhm.
would be a bigger number. That's not sure, right? 'Cause
It might be. See, this person, they might have missed out on an opportunity to make their number bigger,
it could have been
Not bigger than not bigger
to make
than
their
that.
product number bigger.
It would still be shorter than the round
It would still be shorter.
but it would be a bigger number.
That's why we're dealing it out, so you're not just going to keep picking the same numbers once you figure out what makes the highest.
Do you have to use that method? Do you use
You're going to use the standard form to work out these problems. That way we can practice using it.
There's no hundreds.
There's no hundreds. We're just doing 2 tens places, okay? All right? So go back to your seat and get with a partner, someone at your desk.
Wait, no. Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Okay, I have 12 packs. Yes.
Wait, do you mean the carpet?
Can I put the other beside